Larry?
Here.
Tom?
Yep.
Here. Bernie?
Here.
Barb, here. Beth? Richard?
Excused.
Okay. Steve?
Here.
Larry? KK?
Here.
All right, looking over June's minutes, any corrections or deletions? I see one correction that I see, the approval of February's minutes.
We're a little behind.
That'll be
Change to,
It's gotta be June.
that would be May's minutes because it would have been from the June meeting.
We need to change
I
that.
move we accept.
First by
Second.
Byrne. All in favor?
Aye.
Guest? Kim? I don't know who you are, but. Jessica. Okay,
She's on the
Welcome.
log, Selmeyer.
okay,
No, she, I mean, I'm just saying she signed in.
okay. Hi, Beth.
Welcome.
All right, moving up.
Ryan is out,
Application.
vacation this week. Just a project update, they are assembling or mobilizing for the number 5 bridge on hole 5. So looking forward to having that get going. Cart path is in and people are using it. And we're having some, well, we've had them this season, issues with the irrigation system and some leaks, but our properties and facilities staff have been on site more hours than I would like, trying to get that nailed down. So, yeah, there's a pretty bad leak on 2 that kind of they fixed, and then it popped in another spot in that area, and then 7 has been an ongoing thorn in the side for the season. So, looking to get more of an irrigation company out there to give us a better assessment of getting a lot of that fixed, because we do have that new PLC panel. The pump is working fine. The new satellites were put in last year. It's just getting them all to work in conjunction without having other leaks pop up. So we're addressing it as we can. That's all I really have for Bill. So there's been a lot of play this year, and the weather's been pretty nice as far as this season so far. So not a lot of carts only, or cart path only, or walking days is always a good thing.
The weather has kept the course in pretty good shape, whether the irrigation's working or not. I mean, it's really in good shape.
Every few days, I give Mother Nature a text and say, could you just drop a little bit of rain on the greens
Okay.
more than normal? So
I can do
we'll
that.
try and keep that up.
But the cart paths are great. They're in the right places, and it's really a big plus.
That's good to hear.
I could play a little bit better. Won't give you any instruction, but
We played yesterday.
Who won?
I think I got kind of by a few strokes, but
there you got me. You got me. Hey.
But Bernie was hitting from the blue tees.
Correct, Steve. Yes, correct. Youth programming, Tandra?
So summer break camp is going just as well as it's always been. We had a few of those super hot days that we couldn't even be in the building. It was just too hot, so we had to close down. But other than that, shout out to the Sandusky Fire, who comes twice a week to sprinkle the kids off if it's 90 plus in a real field. They bring the truck out and the sprinkler, and they do that every Wednesday and Friday at 12:30. Shout them out. And they also go to Foxborough, where we're doing programming over at Foxborough Park. So those kids get that too. And so we're at the halfway point. We got 4 more weeks. And yeah, 4 more weeks.
I didn't need that reminder.
Not either, no.
Yep, it's going down in 4 more weeks, a little over 4 weeks for you though. Our field trips we've had one, and we went out to, back to the wild. It was a wonderful trip and shout out to the Sandusky City Schools. School bus, both the drivers did an excellent job with pickup time and the promptness of it, pick up and bringing the kids back to the building. But they had a great time out there. I think we had like 60 kids. That's a real number, but our next one is this Friday with the naturalist Mike Kinsley and his team out to Erie Metro Parks at the Nature Center, which should be a pretty good, he always plans, and they do such a great job out there. So we got probably like 3 different rotations while we're out there on Friday. Then there's 2 more. Downtown, we're bringing them downtown to the Merry-Go-Round Museum and the Maritime Museum. And then we're going to have lunch in the pavilion. And then the last one will be at the Maple Crest Horse Farm. And you're all invited to come and join in on those field trips if you would like to experience. I also have another special invite for the rec board to come join us at noon within any time in these 4 weeks to have lunch with the kids. I mean, it'd be great for you guys to come out and see how we do and what the kids are doing. I would really, really like for you guys to come. Just a quick 30 minutes, 12 to 12:30, be great. But you can even come on a Wednesday and Friday when the fire truck is there, so you can get sprinkled as well.
And don't just wait till Walking Taco Day.
Oh, yeah,
Don't just wait till that day, yeah.
yeah. So that's all I got for that.
All right. Jason?
As is always the case, we get into the middle of June and then early July, and we are running with everything. Movies by the Bay, we had a movie, was it 2 nights ago already? We did Moana 2, again with the heat, with what Chandra said, we had to delay the 1 week of movies, and we pushed it to where last week was going to be a double feature on Monday, Tuesday, but then it was supposed to rain Monday, so then we made it Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it didn't rain Monday because whenever we cancel a movie, it's sunny and beautiful out. So we did get those movies in last week, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we have Moana 2, and then this next one is Air Bud, which is the golden retriever that plays basketball, and we're expecting some other golden retrievers live area golden retrievers to make their mark. There's a golden greeters group that's in town that,
They're going to make their mark?
well,
Maybe, probably.
there's bags to pick up that mark, yeah. They will be on site, so we're looking forward to a lot of Air Buds on site for this week's next movie coming up. Ryan and Easton have been holding down the shows for that. With Ryan out, I handled it this past Monday, so we had a good crew, a good group that came out, and then it, of course, like drizzled and through different parts of the movie, but it was always the parts of the movie where there was like waves crashing, and so it was kind of like a 4D effect. But 4th of July weekend, as I mentioned, Stars and Stripes community celebration, I think went pretty well. We kicked it off with the Boy with the Boot 5K, which is in its 8th year, and we had a record amount of 300 plus participants in that, so it made the starting chute a little tight going out, and but we had a little bit cooler weather this year. Usually it's about in the 90s. I think when we started the race it was about 80 or 78, so it was a great event that morning. And then Party at the Pier was the Thursday night before on the 3rd. I don't think I made it to the show.
It was the packed drum line, Lang Trust.
Oh, Lang Trust.
Yeah.
Sherry went. I did pop up, but I got there a little late. Sherry went to the packed drum line.
What happened?
Did you go to packed drum line, the Lang
yeah.
Trust? How was it?
Oh, my God.
It was wonderful.
Yes,
I was there.
yes.
So we thank the Lang Trust and GSP for bringing that. It was at the end of the pier because on Friday, we moved the stage out there because FSO needs that large tent for their concert on Friday, and that I was pleasantly surprised at how many people showed up for.
Did you get a lot of complaints from having it at the other end?
Not,
I heard just 2, and it was that they love being able to watch the boats and everything going behind and seeing the water.
we've had the sunset when the sun. Some people don't like the sunset behind because it makes it hard to see. So
That was
yeah.
one, yes, because if you went that way, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And then, the Lang Trust show was the next night at 7:30. That got done around 8:30 or 9. And then it was kind of crazy to see, like, a lot of people did stay and just turn their chairs for Cedar Point, but then there was a lot of people that were filing out that weren't staying for the fireworks, but then everyone was filing in for the fireworks. So there was like this changing of people going in and out. So it was, the weather held.
They do good?
I heard it was.
They liked it?
Yeah.
Great.
I know him, but I didn't get to go.
So FSO is probably on every other year for that 4th of July concert. So we look forward to having them back in a couple years down at the pier for that event. Any questions on this past week of special events? Okay, well, that gets us into the next couple weeks of special events. It's already here, which is crazy. Ironman 70.3 Ohio will be taking place on the 20th, so you'll start seeing their setup at the pier, at the boat launch, and at the marina. And then the finish line is the last thing that they start putting together on Columbus Ave late next week. The traffic impact and all that information will be going out to the city's resources on Facebook, and there's a mailer that goes to everybody who's affected on the run course and the bike course. And then not too far after that is our Touch-A-Truck that we didn't have last year, so we kind of are just resetting and getting all the sponsors that were last year to be a part of it this year because we had the rain out last year. It was very stormy for last year's Touch-A-Truck. So that's August 5th. And looking forward to that. And then we'll be getting into Safety Town the week after that as well.
29th?
20th.
20th.
Yeah, 20th is Ironman.
Okay.
Any,
Is Krista still the one you need to reach out to?
For volunteering?
for the Ironman?
Yeah.
Crystal, yeah, Chris, yeah. And I believe they have all their, that's a good reminder, I think they have all their captains.
I got an email last night that they need a captain for a bike station.
I think that got
Did it get
filled,
filled?
but that was just
And
either,
the swim start still needs 4 volunteers. It's the best. I know you have to get up really early, but it's so cool.
that's where they put
the
3
energy.
people in the water every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Who do you contact to volunteer?
I can send you the link to the, there's a site that you fill out all your like waiver stuff that they need you to fill out, but it's, Crystal is the volunteer coordinator. I have her email address too. Any questions on those things other than how to volunteer? Parks and facilities updates. Chris is here.
Tennis courts are on their way, and they have the first layer of blacktop down for the entire 6 courts, and I'll be back over there tomorrow to see when, I believe they're putting the second one down tomorrow. And then probably next week, they'll start coating and striping the courts. But they're on time as long as the weather cooperates, and they'll be ready to start the season August 1st, if not a little bit before. But we'll get a better update next week, Steve, for sure. And I'll let you guys know.
Where will the parking be then for it? Where the construction vehicles are or in front of the old gymnastics place?
So it won't be in front of the old gymnastics place where they have a temporary drive that's going towards the tennis courts. We're going to utilize that once they're finished, and there'll be some stone parking there. And then, thanks to Firelands Hospital, we're able to use that parking lot across the street on Rockwell.
All right.
And they can park there. There will be no parking, though, on the south side of Rockwell. And there'll be signs going up, especially since the residents really don't want spectators and tennis players to park in the front of their house. So they can park on the tennis court side, but not on the south side. But those signs will be posted prior to the park officially opening.
Is this part of the rec center complex?
It is. It's on the same property as the
So
rec center.
They developed the plans and everything for tennis courts, but we don't know anything for the rec center.
The only update that I have for the rec center is we're still working with the criteria architect to put together the final numbers and the draft to go out to ask for proposals for a, what's the kind of builder? I just lost.
Design build.
Design build. Thank you, Jason.
Yep.
But that should be happening shortly, Sherry.
Chris, when you mentioned the residents not wanting you to park there, is there any plans within the city to put curbs on that street? to connect with the rest of them?
I'm not aware of that, but that's certainly a good point, and I can bring that up with our engineer and discuss that with him, but I think that's a good idea. I don't know what the plans are as far as repaving Rockwell.
And the parking will be, that site will be set up where there's parking on site for
Right.
both the rec center and the tennis courts, but
I'm
Right.
just thinking of the curbs along to define the area and.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good
get
idea,
up
Steve.
and,
Yeah, that's a great idea. So I'll share that with Aaron and have that discussion. Schaefer Park, the new playground has been set. They poured the concrete yesterday. We need 2 or 3 days for the concrete to cure. Then they'll come back and put the borders, secure the borders and put the playground mulch in. We are planning on opening it up probably Monday afternoon. So that's a project that's been in the works for a little while, but we're finally catching up with that. A lot of it is unfortunately, the wet spring that we had with the installers. They're at least 4 or 5 weeks behind yet. So they worked. They were there at 7:15 Monday morning and did not leave until dark, because they wanted to make sure they got it set so they could come back and get it done for us this week. So we appreciate that and that crew. Farwell Park, we are in the process of obtaining some designs from 3 different playground companies that build playgrounds. And we will review that as a team and then make a decision on the design for the playground at Farwell. That probably will happen in late fall. We want to keep the playground up for the entire summer so that that neighborhood can continue to enjoy the park over there. And then even when I was out with a couple of the potential vendors or playground companies, it was interesting to see the number of families that came over from the hotel to utilize that park. So it gets used quite a bit during the summer. So that's why we want to keep it up through the fall, and then we'll take it out. And then depending again on the installer schedule, it may be installed yet this fall. If not, I've communicated with the potential businesses that we will need it first thing on their agenda for next spring.
I noticed a lot more people using the basketball courts when I drive by there, since they've been, I don't know if anyone's been through there with the new blue courts, but they look nice, and I've seen some people, more than maybe it's just because I look over there now to see the blue courts, but they are nice, and I'm glad we're able to get a playground replaced over there soon.
Here's a blast from the past, and it was brought up in conversation of something that had happened, but what are we doing with the property that was always Sherg Park?
Sherg, across the street from, it's
On
still
Monroe
Sherg.
Street?
It's still Sherg.
No, the one, not the rededicated one, but the previous one, Sherg Park.
No, there's 2 Sherg Parks. I believe the sign on the Huron Park ball field still says Sherg
So
Field.
what, are we going to start utilizing that, or is it utilized?
Occasionally, there's some practices that are going on there, and
So we keep it up?
there'll be a question, I'm guessing, here soon about that, and I can address that too, but next week we'll get that turned. But there's a Sherg Field at Dorn,
Yeah.
and there was a project, I don't know how many years ago, it seems like it was 10, 12 years ago, about possibly like a Hall of Fame walk project there.
Kellogg's had something to do with it.
And then
We had
they-
a grant from Kellogg's.
The Kellogg's one, I think, helped redo the greenhouse, but I think it was something with and they were going to move that ball field and rededicate it out at Dorn, and they did, and then it's still Sherg, from what I
I
get.
didn't even know that.
We had a question about Ratherfield. Does anybody know Ratherfield?
Used to be
Yeah?
KC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind the IB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, we gave him, I've got something hanging up in my office that has when it was a former rec board member that was dedicated, and I can never pronounce his name correctly, Adjush Rather. Yeah. Everyone thinks it's Bo
Yeah.
Rather, but it's
It was my cook's family.
nice.
Yeah, Chris, if you're coming back to tennis courts, if you're coming from the west, there's a tendency to think about parking over on the right side, and it's people's front yards, basically.
Yeah.
So it's It's a potential issue there.
No, I appreciate you mentioning that, but yeah, we're going to make sure it's marked well, so we want to keep our neighbors happy over there.
Right.
And we'll be in contact with the ADs on, directions for buses if there's tennis, teams, or, because I know some tennis teams come by bus, some come by van, some come by the cars that they just drive over, but we'll get some better direction on that once they get open.
Visiting schools are going to be impressed.
Happy to hear that.
We've taken some heat the last few years. It's
It's a long time coming,
going
sir.
to be good.
Did you see, Sandusky, courts were cleaned up in time for the city camp?
Good.
For Sarah's camp? Yeah, tennis camp.
All right, anything else on new business?
We're in the new business? Is that where we're at?
Or an open.
We're in open now.
We're done.
Okay. I was just going to ask about Lions Park. Are we ever going to finish up? Because we had started out in phases and we never finished it. Are we going, did we finish it?
I'm guessing you're talking about like the beach part. There was a grant that I think that the city obtained that Josh Schneider from our Public Works Department was in the process of, they're doing some sort of study on the wave action there and the beach action. So there is, I don't think that the book is closed on that as far as what, but I would caution that our water quality right now is not the best
That was
in
my
any of our
next
areas.
question. I'm not
Yeah.
going to tell people to go there if the water condition is bad.
Right, there's been a lot of pour and fair throughout the entire, not just Lions Park, but the entire city and area. I think it's a lake thing more than it is a Sandusky Bay thing, but I'm not a, whatever has a
Okay.
doctorate in that sort of thing, but
The reason I was leading up to that, because, I always ask for water, grass, concession stands, something for the older youths and adults in the summertime. Is it going to be involved with the rec center of anything like that?
there's a water feature that's supposed to be as part of the rec center,
Oh,
which,
for adults?
well, it's for it's families, it's for anyone to use, yeah. And there's one as part of the Churchwell Park project too.
How's it working out for the pool?
I don't know.
A lot of people using it, outsiders?
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers, but I know most of the sessions have had, especially lunch session has been very popular, 10, 15 people over there each time, enough that we opened another session during that lunchtime frame for the people that want to float or do some therapy, a little bit slower pace than lap swimming. So we're constantly adding and adjusting and trying to find the right balance of schedule. So it's a build-up, but there's definitely more to come with it.
More activity in the early morning up until around noon, and after that, it non-existent, so.
That's when air conditions kicks in, stay home.
Hey, Chris, can you give a quick, brief update for Churchwell Park as far as the,
Churchwell, the ribbon cutting will be July 27th. And
I think it's the 29th.
29th, thank you,
Tuesday,
Jason.
yep.
It is Tuesday, the 29th, sorry, Tanya.
at what time?
10 a.m.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because we're going to do something.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes. I have one more thing. Community Collaboration Day 2025 will be August 15th between 2 and 5 o'clock. I could use the support of the rec board to come out and help us get these community members to resource tables, and it's going to be giveaways and fun and music and some foods, and Strawberry Cow's going to be there, Graham's Goodies going to be there. I'm going to be in the dunk tank again. I skipped last year.
Same.
It's going to be fun. Yeah,
Get
August
out my
15th
pitch
between
back.
2 and 5.
I'm gonna ask Jessica first.
Oh, go ahead, Jessica.
Actually, it was already covered, I will ask about the pool. When are they starting to do these swim lessons for your kids and stuff? Because I've tried to look it up and
Yeah, we don't have any scheduled quite yet, but as soon as that information is available and set in stone, we'll blast it out, just as we did all the other schedules.
what about, is there a way to offer stuff more in the afternoon? Because a lot of people work in the morning, like even myself, I'm at work by 4:30 in the morning, so I can't even take my son there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as they hire more lifeguards and finalize kind of their processes, additional times are being added throughout the day. And the hope is, especially weekend times also, we're looking at. Yeah, we don't have them available right now, but those are the goals we're reaching towards.
And just for the record, since the mics might not pick you up, is just a question about the programming at the pool and swim lessons and then more afternoon sessions, just in case anybody's watching and couldn't hear you. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, Tim.
I'll come up so you can hear me though. Tim Schwager, Sandusky, you've already covered the pool. I had a question on open swim, so it sounds like we're heading in the right direction. For Jason, I was wondering, I swear that I went that maybe a couple of years ago when we got the movie screen and we got a trailer for that was purchased so that we could move the stage around the city like Lions Park, or am I thinking of something different?
No, we have had the screen in different areas and shown movies.
Okay, where are we going? I just, that doesn't,
It was in Lyons last summer.
Okay.
And then we've discussed trying to have it over the basketball courts for like Air Bud would have been good there, or like a Space Jam type thing. So we do have the infrastructure now in those parks to be able to move it, yeah.
It was also used 2 Sundays ago at Strobel Field for the community worship.
There was a rental, yeah.
okay. Well, just, I'm referring to the movies, but, you know, it was supposed to move around for the movies. So is there any plans this year for that? Or
That was actually the other locations was kind of, was a bonus, because Movies by the Bay was either always at the Paper District Marina, and then we took it to the greenhouse a couple times because we had that portable screen, but the Movies by the Bay location has always been for the pier. The other locations of like, I think we tried to show, we did it at the marina the one time. We tried to show, was it Rocky Horror Picture Show and another
Jaws.
sponsored movie, Jaws, and Captain Ron, I think was another request. But yeah, we've just got it, right now we've only got it scheduled for the Movies by the Bay.
And I was asked about what I call Barchar Park, which is out.
Venice Park?
That's it. Are there plans for something there, or meeting with, I was told that you're gonna meet with people out there to discuss what they like to have in that park?
Yeah, we've been in contact with residents, have reached out about, they'd like to see some movement on some things out there. Right now, we're focused on getting Schaefer done and then get Farwell done in the fall and then engage the residents for
For next year?
Venice, yeah. Well, I don't know if it'll be next year, it depends on where it's at in the capital.
Okay. Another question is for the, and I did hear more concerns about the stage being at the north end of the pier that you may have heard. Is there an ability that the next time we have the Firelands Symphony Orchestra, that we keep the stage at the south end and then put the tent at the north end of the green area, or is the tent too big, or what?
We didn't really get any, as far as bad feedback of having it at the end of the pier. I mean, we've had feedback on both. They like both.
Oh, the sun
areas.
shining on there.
Yeah, and then we thought some of the feedback for the 4th of July last year was we had the stage in that spot up by the Great Lawn, and the DJ was playing there, but no one could see the fireworks so it kind of worked out double on that Saturday to be able to have that. But I mean, we work with FSO, we work with the Lang Trust and also Greater Sandusky Partnership on where that location is going to be and how it works out best for all parties involved. Just so you know, for next week for Ironman, that happens every year, we move the stage out to the north end again because Ironman's village is in that Mailander Pavilion area.
Okay, and the last thing is, I promise, I see you're packing your stuff up.
Tim, you're fine.
I'm just messing with you. Okay, and this is more of a statement than anything else. I understand that government is slower than molasses, okay? And I can't believe a month went by since the last time I was here talking about the boat ramp and the new docks that we have down there. And nothing's been done yet as far as protecting the boats from damage, okay? And we noticed that the fire department, they must have done it on their own. They took PVC pipe this, a little bit bigger than the diameter of the poles that are there now and put the PVC over top of those posts because they were having a problem with their boat getting damaged, okay? And I did get an email today or yesterday from Jason, and I think I copied you, that it's gonna take an additional 2 weeks to get that. So we're talking about a total of 6, maybe 7 weeks to take care of an issue like that. And I'm thinking, I'm reading my crystal ball here, that whatever department takes care of that probably has a sheet of projects priority, and maybe that one's down here somewhere. But sometimes you need to move something down here up a little bit higher, in my humble opinion. So the posts, it sounds like are gonna get taken care of. The second issue with those is the cleats that you tie up to are actually on the edge, on the outside edge of the pier or the docks. And if you go down and look at the old docks, they were actually like recessed in. So we're seeing some people when they come in, primarily when it's windy, they hit those cleats, and fiberglass is very, very sensitive to injury or damage. So I don't know if there's plans to address that or not, but I did have a contractor that does docks, that's local. I met with him at the ramp, and he gave some suggestions, which I just gave, is that those cleats need to be somehow, with the company maybe under warranty, have those cleats recessed in to prevent damage to boats. And that, my friends, is all that I had tonight.
You said the fire department did do some work there?
The fire department on their dock, they have their own private dock. The fire department and ODNR have their own dock that's gated off. And both the fire department and the ODNR, the posts that we're talking about, they took PVC pipe, plastic pipe, which will not cause, it may damage, but it won't cause as much damage as metal posts. So they put the PVC over the top of those metal poles as a safeguard from damage.
You mentioned that there was damage to the fire department boat?
No.
No, you said,
To prevent.
no, you said that they had damage to their boat. I heard you say.
Okay, I must have misspoke on that. They did it as a preventative measure, which is what we're looking for the rest of the docks, is a preventative measure from damage. Okay. Fire department must have seen the potential, and that's why they did that. Okay, so,
Saving the city money,
pardon?
saving the city money
Well,
from
they-
damage.
Well, I don't know, I imagine that they used PVC that we already had. I hope that the firefighters didn't go out and buy their own PVC. I hope that they used our material. Maybe not.
I don't know, we have pretty awesome fire and police departments.
Absolutely.
I had one more thing after he's done that I forgot to ask about the bridge at the golf course. Is that in process now?
Yeah, they're mobilizing.
Okay, what was the estimate that came in that it's going to cost, without overrides or whatever?
I don't know what I don't have it off the top of my head, but I can get it to you. I don't remember what the final bid was on that. But Tim might know.
I'll let you know if it'll be.
I can look it up, but yeah.
It's no biggie, just,
Okay.
I had written it down just to ask for someone.
I wanted to say that no, I don't want to go into guessing, so I'm not.
And one more thing, since I got to ride in a golf cart at the golf course, awesome. We have awesome employees, we have awesome scenery, awesome grounds, everything. My first time.
It's good to hear that.
There was even a deer.
Oh, my God.
Good employees there.
Thanks.
See Bambi's mom.
I'll pass it along because they don't get to hear that enough.
No,
But, yeah.
they're awesome.
I also want to say how awesome Steve's been for sitting on rec board for the time that you've been with us. I believe this is your final meeting with us.
Be my final meeting. Can I hit the gavel when it's over?
Go ahead.
You can. But thanks for your time, and I know Robert Sarter's been named the AD at Sandusky, and he sent me a message because I added him to the rec board just for this week in case he can make it, but he's on vacation, yeah. But thank you for your
Pleasure.
time.
I mean, it's been a learning experience too, to have an understanding of how the city runs relative to recreation and entertainment and facilities, so, good.
Okay. Well, you can bang the gavel and we'll end the
You
meeting.
got to make a motion